All right. Still good morning. This is good morning number two. And number one was just wandering all over the place. And then the cat started crying outside. So I had to stop number one and let the cat in, kind of put her in the sauna, what we call the sauna. It's a place that's kept really warm because if you didn't know it, cats' temperature, actual temperature, consistent temperature is 103 degrees. That's why when you're on your lap, you feel like you got a heating pad. So I'm just going to throw a bunch of stuff out just right away. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to start off with Mercury is definitely in retrograde. So I have one of the high priestesses returning from the European adventures, and so I was, like high priestess number one, or maybe she's the Empress and the other was the high priestess, whatever. One of them had to head over to Michigan for some family things, and so maybe that's the Empress is over in Michigan. High priestess was in Europe, variety of places in Europe, really, literally a lot of different places in Europe, having to do with dancing and choreography. So, High Priestess arrives home today. So the Empress, who I was having a conversation with yesterday, was telling me all the things that I need to do to prepare for the High Priestess's return. And me, I'm just experiencing Mercury in retrograde, so I'm like thinking I probably shouldn't try to do a whole lot of stuff other than make some celery juice and that's from the earlier video. So now we're continuing on to the celery juice. So I had to first soak. I felt like I had to soak because once I pulled the celery out of the package, the earthbound farm, and it looked like it had a lot of earth bound to the celery. And so I had to pull it out of the bag, and I had the thought that if this had been sitting, out in this air, I would have been able to look at it. But seeing that it was in a bag that was like blue, like who colors plastic bags blue? Why would you do it? Well, so people couldn't see what was inside. Yeah, you haven't caught on yet, or I haven't caught on, and neither of us caught on. But when it comes to like nuts, what they mean by dry roasted nuts typically means that the nuts have gotten soggy and they're no longer good tasting. They don't taste like the nuts you have known in the past, like the fresh peanuts or the fresh cashews, the fresh whatevers. So they dry roast them. And what does that mean when they dry roast them? That means they heat them up and make them seem crunchy again. So all this excitement you've gotten over dry roasted peanuts just means that you're willing to eat not quite stale, but possibly soggy. Okay, we can change and have a good time at the same time. I mean, you might not be having a good time, but I'm definitely having a good time and much better than the time I had this morning because, and I know I could probably enter a show called Queen for a Day. And Queen for a Day was probably in the 50s, and maybe men watched it. I never saw men as a child except on the weekends. But I did see a number of women, and they watched Queen for a Day. And Queen for a Day was a show about whose life is the worst. And then whoever convinced the judges, the panel, or however it worked, whose life was the worst, they became Queen for a Day, and they'd get a brand new, washing machine. Like, what's better for a woman than to have a better opportunity to clean up after other people? I know most women feel that way. They just would wish there were more people they could clean up after. As a man, I don't feel that way. I wish people would clean up after themselves So there were kind of less people for me to clean up after. That's just me. All right. So where are we going today? And like, you've got as good of an idea as I do. Where are we going to go? What are we going to talk about? Because I'll tell you, besides my back feeling inflamed after yesterday, I I think it just not sure because I think I was just putting some dishes away in the lower cupboard and I went, oh no, I've been taking pretty good care of this thing and there it goes again. And I feel shame and guilt. And I hear those voices in my head, dude, I hear dude. I don't know why, Big Lebowski or something, but dude, like you're a chiropractor. You shouldn't be having back problems. And not only can you adjust yourself because you have an instrument where you can do that, but you have a number of people who would adjust you for free because you've taken care of them in their dire circumstances. So you got like a free pass to go see people, which means you'd have to get in your car and then your back's kind of like going like, I don't think I want to drive. So now you know I'm a chiropractor with an inflamed lower back. It's L5 S1 sacral 1 L5 S1 disc area, and that relates to the rise of power. Now, it doesn't mean that when your power starts to rise, you're going to have back problems. I don't want to have you make that connection. Don't make that connection. The rise of power typically means you're just going to be angry for a while. And how long? Who knows? Because you either like let it go or you find somebody to let it at. And when you let it at somebody, it doesn't go away. It just kind of comes out for a little bit and then it fills back up again. And so the idea is that anger is related to your power returning because things were done to you to diminish your power. And those things that were done to diminish your power typically cause you to feel anger, which you couldn't express because anger was dangerous. People were bigger than you. If you expressed anger, you got your butt whooped maybe, or who knows what happened to you, got the strap, or somebody just made you feel terrible about yourself. So we all were taught, like, don't express yourself in powerful ways because there's always someone that's going to bring you down to size. Now, did I create that? As you create your own reality, did I create that for myself? And I'm going to say probably, but I don't know how. And I'm going to say also this. If you've been kind of staring at me this far and haven't noticed something strange about my glasses, kind of like, where's Waldo? Well, I'm just going to mention, in case I didn't mention before, Mercury's in retrograde. And this morning, I put my glasses where I oftentimes put them. They're just inexpensive dollar store reading glasses, although I did pay a lot more for these ones. I paid $7 when I was down in New Mexico not long ago. And they've been working really well. And I don't think that they make me particularly look good, but I found that very little makes me look good. So I don't even bother. I just like, okay, they're glasses. I can see. I like them. And they do like make me a little bit look like Austin Powers or Bernie Sanders, or a combination of Austin Powers with Bernie Sanders' ears and hair, something. But they have similar glasses, I think, but I don't even remember. And I haven't watched very many movies, really. But Austin Powers was one of them. And yeah, and I have nothing more to say about it. So this is a rant to just kind of get some energy moving because I woke up this morning and it just felt like everything was going backwards and nothing was working. Oh, and by the way, the reason this funny little thing is happening right there in my glasses is because this morning I had them in my pocket when I was making my celery juice and soaking it in acid pH water, because that kind of cleans and kills things in your vegetables, and it removes toxins and stuff. So it's a good thing. Alkaline water is better for drinking, but acid water is good for cleaning. If you just want to soak your vegetables because you don't trust the Bill of Gates, the Bill of Gates. It's you don't trust that person on any level about anything. You may have a particular view of that person, somewhat relating to terms like the light, which I think is a Latin way of saying it is Lucifer. So if you have that particular perception and you realize that this person, the Bill of Gates, has to, and I wonder if what is it called? AI will even catch that one. But anyway, when this person is like a major investor in Monsanto and like genetically modifying the food we eat and possibly putting things like, and this isn't a commercial for them, but putting things like glyphosate, genetically modified into the food so that when it grows with glyphosate in it. And the idea of glyphosate is it causes intestines, bugs, stomachs to explode when they eat it. So it decreases the bug population. This is a roundabout way of getting bugs to stop eating our vegetables and to get us to stop eating our vegetables once we realize that the reason so many people possibly have all these digestive problems could very well be either the 80% of corn that's genetically modified with glyphosate in it, or is intensely sprayed with glyphosate once it's grown. And best of luck, your intestinal system. Best of luck to your intestinal system eating that stuff. But then again, sometimes I'm thinking like, I eat organic. Why do you eat organic? Because it's more expensive. Therefore, it must be better for me. It's like when I was buying the tamari the other day, and it said, what did it say? 20% less salt or something, and it was $2 more expensive than the regular percent salt. And I thought, well, they're putting less salt into it. Shouldn't it be cheaper, or is just salt just super cheap? And so you could just fill the whole thing up with corn syrup or salt, and then that stuff's so cheap because it's, salt's edible, but not sodium chloride. I don't want to get too deeply into this, but sodium chloride is kind of poisonous for the human system. The human system wants naturally created salt with, minerals in it, and maybe Himalayan salt or sea salt or something. Sodium chloride is just chemicals manufactured that taste like salt. I mean, it is salt. Sodium chloride is kind of the bottom line of salt, but it's not really food. It's a chemical, sodium chloride. So if you want to put lots of sodium chloride in your food, then you're welcome to, because I'm not going to stop you. I'm not the sodium chloride police. I don't even know what kind of police I might be if I were a police. What would I stop the human population from doing? And then the first thing that comes to my mind is I'd stop them from complaining. And I think, well, what have you been doing for the last 15, 20 minutes? It's like, blah, blah, blah. But it's for your entertainment. We're going to get to something soon. So when I was leaning against the counter, I heard this little crunching sound inside my pocket where my $7 reading glasses were. And I pulled them out, realizing that I just cracked one side, that side right there that has the duct tape on it. I tried regular old, you know, whatever, whatever it's called, you know, the. So here, you can really help me out here. So this is the way that we're all going to survive as human beings, is when the young people hear an old person say something, and then the old person or the person just looks old. Who knows if they are old, but if you look old, you might be old. So it's a possibility, appearances. So you start going like, trying to explain something is like playing a game called charades. If you haven't played it, you really ought to get it and just play it. There's I don't find too many games fun, but charades was kind of, you could tell, because I'd be like trying to, but I tried not to do it when I'm in reverse. But if I did this, and I can't mention this tape, so don't think of this as a tape container, because if you do that, you're cheating and you just lose your turn. So if there was like tape in here, and I wouldn't be speaking, so I'm using a ventriloquist and my hands are speaking. So there's tape in here, you know, it's the kind of tape you might pull a piece off and use it to seal an envelope. What kind of tape would that be? You can put it in the comment section. So anyway, I tried that tape. That tape didn't stick to plastic. Who knew? Maybe it only sticks to paper. Anyway, it didn't stick to the plastic very well, so the thing was still wiggling. And I thought, electrical tape. Oh, what a genius. I think duct tape would have been better, but I didn't have any black, and it would have been gray, and you could have seen it even more than you can see it now. You can't see it there if I can do googly eyes, but you can't see it. Oh, there it is, right there. But anyway, I got electrical tape, and it doesn't stick to plastic very well either. But I still have the glasses, and I'm able to wear them, and they haven't fallen apart during this video, and that's what's important. What's really important is that my glasses don't fall apart during the video, because that would prove that Mercury is in retrograde, and I'm pretty sure it's still in retrograde. And I might say that I'm looking forward to it coming out of retrograde, and I don't really know what it means when it's in retrograde or what it means when it comes out of retrograde, but I do know that the idea, the thought form that things are more difficult to do during Mercury in retrograde. That's why I tell people, don't tell me. I don't want to know. But they still tell me, yeah, Mercury's in retrograde. They don't tell me when it's coming out, which is what I'd rather know. Okay, so this is Mercury in retrograde, tape 2. Oh, yeah, then I got to bring the little button over the little black dot, and I got to say, now let's go.